If you're like me, there may have been one or two times where you've struggled to get lens distortion data from Blender's camera solver into other software. Well, I've made a new add-on which should hopefully speed up the process and make things a lot easier for myself and anybody else who cares. So, first of all, let's just take a look in our Blender scene here. I have some tracked footage here. The camera's going along, and as you can see, the footage is completely undistorted. So let's just take a look into our camera data here, and we can uncheck that. You'll see that was the original footage, and this is our undistorted footage. So Blender has done a good job undistorting it, but the trick is getting that undistortion into other software, other compositing software perhaps, such as Nuke maybe? Yes. So that's what I was thinking when I made this little add-on here. So over here in the output properties panel, once you've installed my add-on, I'll go ahead and show you what it is. It's called STMap export, and it shows up in the output properties panel, and also it shows up in another place that I'll show you in a minute. So if you scroll all the way down, you'll see the STMap export panel that we now have. If I can, yeah, hopefully you can see that. I'm trying not to obscure it. Let's just close this a little bit. All right, so here we are. We have a place where you can select the movie clip with your solve distortion so that it knows where to look. We got an overscan percentage slider, which should only be used if Blender's undistortion pulls inward. So you can see, if we look at our undistortion, the undistortion is actually stretching things outward. So we don't need any overscan for this. I've just found that in certain scenarios it works better, particularly if the distortion is squishing in for some reason, as it can do on some shots. So shouldn't have to worry about that too much. We got that little tooltip there just so you can see that. Now, we also have an export directory, which is where it will save your exported STMap. As it renders it out for you. It generates and renders it out for you. There's a button you can click that will do it. This just lets you know that it uses the lens distortion model from your last solve. So if you've solved a couple times, that's what it'll do. And also that's important for using the distortion model. I also have a handy little button here that will copy the distortion to a Nuke lens distortion node, which you can paste straight into your Nuke comp. So I'll show you how all this works. First of all, why don't we just go into our little movie clip editor. You can see over here in our camera, we have solved. We got a 0.22 solve error, which is pretty nice. It's got all of our camera stuff set up. Notably, I have set the lens distortion model to Nuke and then solved it. This makes it so that the ST maps that you export will actually work in Nuke. Otherwise, they probably won't. So good to know that. Keep that in mind if you're trying to use an STMap in Nuke. So we'll just keep that in mind. All right, so export directory. There's a little handy button here. You can either open this up and select a location yourself, or you can click set to file location, and it automatically populates with wherever your Blender file is saved to. So that can come in handy. And then, yeah, just really simply click export undistort STMap, and it'll immediately save it into that folder for you. Oops, there's a little error here because we haven't selected our movie clip here. So there it is. So now we click this button, and then it'll say, boom, undistort has been exported. Hooray. And so it names it the same as your Blender file. So that's there in our folder. Also, I will show you how this works shortly here. So let's just pull open Nuke here. This has our comp with, I actually rendered out a still image of our cubes here that I had in the Blender file. Oops, not that one. I'll show you that in a minute. So back in our 3D viewport, you can see I've got these cubes here just in places to be able to see. So I rendered it out with overscan, and yeah, so it should be good for all of us. Let's pull open Nuke here. So we've got our footage. We've got a place here for our STMap to go into. So let's bring that in real quick. I have it here in the folder. This should be that right there. So you can see this is what we get when we have everything exported. So we'll just plug that in here. This goes into a STMap node. I find that to be much better for, because then you can just use the undistort map, and then if you go into the properties, you can have another one and set it to warp source inverse, where it does the redistortion. So the typical workflow for this, ooh, okay, I think something crashed on me, but I think we're still going, so we're good. Yeah, so we've got our undistorted footage here. We've got our rendered out cubes with our overscan. So I've pre-multed it. I've reformatted it down to kind of remove that overscan that I gave it. And I have a little sticky note here. It just tells me what everything's doing. And then it's a good idea to match the STMap format when you're going to overlay it on top. Because if you don't do that, it's going to look like that, and it's not going to line up properly. So you want it to match as you're lining it up. And so that looks nice. That looks good. So yeah, you can see here in our Blender window, in our 3D viewport, on top of the undistorted footage, this is where our cubes are. So we can see that they are in the same spot here in the Nuke comp. So it's all good. So once they're overlaid on top, then we know that they're in the right place. So then we take this here, just the cubes, and then we use the same STMap in a STMap node, but set to warp source inverse. So that gives us this, and now they're fully warped. And then our format is still to the large size. So we'll just reformat down to the original format, and then we can overlay on the top of our footage. And there you can see everything is nicely warped, and it's still in the right spot. Everything is beautiful. So that's what we got right there. So that's that shot taken care of for you. I only rendered out a still, so I can't really play it, but it's perfectly applied to everything. So let's get back into Blender real quick, and let's do our other option here. Let's go into the movie clip editor. We have our little STMap export over here as well for ease of use if you don't want to navigate to it in the output properties panel. So it's the same thing. Let's just open this up a bit. So you also see we have this copy distortion to Nuke lens distortion node. So all we have to do is click this, and it says it's copied. So we go back into Nuke, into our comp here, and we just Control V, we paste it, and it's got our values, our distortion values up in there. So you can see all we have to do in this case, we don't have to worry about this reformat if we do it this way. We'll just do the lens distortion here, and we'll copy this and paste that there. So A over B, and this gets us, oops, forgot. It also defaults into undistort, just so you can, let's take a look at this, and you can check the footage, just to see that it's undistorting properly. It's just the way I decided to have it default in. So if you plug it in here and then untick undistort, that will redistort it, and it puts it over the top of your footage. And now you can see that they're basically exactly in the same place. So this is the one from the STMap that we used, and this one uses the Nuke lens distortion node. You see there's a slight difference. I believe though the STMap is slightly more accurate than if you just copy and paste the lens distortion node. But I wanted to give you that option just to give you some flexibility as to how you wanted to approach things. So yeah, you can see this is kind of where the corner here is, and if I go in Nuke and look here, you can see that's where that is. Let's see. Yeah, actually, it might be this lens distortion node might be a little bit more accurate. Whoops, I shook it free, so that's not what we want. So yeah, it just depends. I just wanted to give you the flexibility to not only have the lens distortion node in Nuke, but also to have an STMap that you could use anywhere else. I think there might be a thing with Nuke STMaps where they're different than maybe others. I'm not really sure. I just noticed that there was a big difference when using the Nuke settings in the movie clip editor, using the Nuke distortion model right here, as opposed to using the polynomial one, and the Nuke one worked much better in Nuke. So it might be very important. So keep that in mind. And if you're going to use it elsewhere in other compositing software, you can just set this to whatever, and it should still export properly for something that might work for you in other software. So yeah, we'll keep that there. One more thing I want to show you. Let's go into this other Blender file here. So I have this camera track here. It's just this footage from Pexels. The other one was as well. So this one is just a similar simple shot. So if I go here, 250, and so we'll take a look here. I got some proxy geometry here. Just put it in these various places to make sure it all came through all right. So same thing. If we want to go into our output panel, we can select our movie clip and set the export directory to be where the Blender file is. This one has overscan because, let me show you what's going on here. If we uncheck render undistorted, you'll see that it pushes the pixels out. So that when it's doing the undistortion, it's undistorting inward for some reason on this shot. So to keep that in mind, it's only a slight bit of move. So when we're going here to the overscan, I just have it set to a 5% overscan. So we'll just export the undistortion STMap, and it has finished. So now we go in here. I'm going to go ahead and bring that in. Let's open up my folder here where it has crashed. So I'm going to have to open that up again. If you will bear with me, let me navigate to all that. STMap firstborn, here we go, here we go. Okay, so it's here, and it's named just like our Blender file was, undistorted overscan 5%. That's what that stands for. So so now we have this. That's what it looks like. So when you have the overscan, it's important to remove the overscan. So this reformat just kind of crops us down to the footage size here, which is UHD 4K. So we have this, and it's set to that. This just puts it back to the without overscan. So that's all you need to know there. I have also rendered out these little thingies here, the cubes. So this is our undistorted footage. This is distorted, undistorted, as Blender has calculated it. So we've got our cubes here. I believe I didn't render these with any overscan. Yeah, it's just a normal UHD 4K. So that's probably not correct. It's probably not correct. I should have. But yeah, remove an overscan that isn't there. So here we are. I put them in the right place over the top of our stuff. We got our cube here at the window. We got our cube down here at a car and at the corner of the building here. So then we just warp it. And this here is unwarped and warped. So we look here, and everything seems to be correct. So if we had just slapped it over the top, it wouldn't have lined up very well. So now we've got the distortion in the right place. It handles edges properly. And yeah, it should be everything that you need to do. And the same thing, if you wanted to copy and paste the Nuke lens distortion node in here, you could easily do that. Just work however you prefer. So I hope this add-on helps some people, because I think it's going to help me. And yeah, I'm excited to have made it. I'm excited to share it with you all, and let me know if you like it.